Hakam's office in Sabah and Sarawak, you can say that almost every month, 60% of the claims, the complaints are on land, and especially on community land issues. So, for example, in the dam areas, 15,000 people have been displaced since the Bakun Dam has been built, and this is huge number. And these complaints have been coming. The National Inquiry has two basic objectives. One is for people to understand that there is such a huge problem about land in this country with regards to indigenous people's land. And I think that's the first step for government to acknowledge that there is this problem. So public awareness is one of the key role or key objective of the National Inquiry. The second one, of course, is to get government to acknowledge that there is such a problem and they must act on it.
If we are a national human rights institution, our focus is human rights, and so we look for an inquiry subject that will be very much grounded in human rights law and the practice that needs to flow from human rights law. So that's the first thing I would say. Make sure it's a human rights issue. The second thing is that it needs to lend itself to the public inquiry process. If it's a situation where violations are continuing on a very broad scale and victims themselves are at great risk of further violation, the last thing you would want is to drag the victim before a public inquiry and require them to reveal themselves and tell their stories.
In 1996, one minister of Government of India made a complaint to the Commission that there were certain starvation deaths in KBK districts of Orissa, a state in India. In 1997, some NGO approached the Supreme Court on a similar issue by filing a writ petition. The Supreme Court, when learned that similar matter is pending before the National Human Rights Commission of India, passed orders that this is a case of violation of human rights and appropriate authority would be the Commission. And thereafter the Supreme Court passed order directing the parties, that is the writ petitioner and also the state of Orissa and the union government to be before the Commission for the purpose of inquiry of this case.
төрийн нэрийн өмнөөс үйл ажиллагаа эрх мэдэл хэрэгжүүлж байгаа албан тушаалтнууд санаатаагаар иргэдийн эрхэд халдаж байгаа хүний эрхийн хамгийн ноцтой зөрчил төдийгүй энэ бол гэмт хэрэг байгаа юм аа. Тийм учраас бид энэ хүний эрхийнх нь хамгийн том зөрчлийн хувьд бол энэ анхныхаа хяналтын ажлын сэдвийг болгож энийг авсан. Үр дүнгийн тухайд гэвэл үр дүн бол бидний анхны хяналтын нээлттэй хяналтын үр дүн бол одоо хүлээж байсан нэс илүү гарсан гэж бид боддог. За яагаад тийм одоо их сэтгэл өндөр байна? Яагаад тийм одоо сайн үр дүнд хүрсэн бэ гэвэл энэ сэдв бол яхахгүй олон нийтийн хүсэн хүлээж байсан энэ талаар бол зайлшгүй одоо дуурах ёстой ийм сэдв байсан бол ойлгомжтой байсан нэг талаас нь тийм ээ. За ингэж чиглээд цааш их юм болж байна.
To start with, when we get complaints, we try to get people together and without going to court or make a big to-do about it. As an offshoot to the case study of the people in Mae, whose population 1,243 persons been erased and so on, and now they get back their IDs, get back their citizenships. We started working with the other groups, and we found that there are a lot of people in our country who have been moved from one place to the other, starting with the building of dams, and we find that most of them do not have any IDs. And when they move from the remote areas, from the mountains into the plains, then they get into real problems when they don't have the ID, you see. Actually, it so happened that the APF, Asian Pacific Forum, became interested in this. And I heard from them that there were something like 39 million people all over the world that are in the same situation, that they have been moved inside their country. they become internal refugees, and there are no international organization. The UN doesn't have any organization to help them. So we started working with 5 villages now.
Well, the Commission was receiving numbers of complaints from disabled people about the lack of accessibility of public transport. And as you know, for disabled people, most of whom will never be able to drive themselves, lack of access to public transport denies them the right to education, the right to work, the right to participate in the community. And we were dealing with these individual complaints, which all came down to something at the operator's level. But it was becoming increasingly clear that resolving those complaints was doing nothing about the system as a whole, and that there was really significant systemic issues.